everyone. We're currently live on the After the Scales podcast today with Devin Moran. We're going to have him join here in a couple minutes.
Yeah, I just wanted to, because anyone that's watched our podcast, you know who Jacob and I are. I just wanted to just give a brief introduction for Nate. He's in the Northeast Late Model Alliance Series. He's got a couple of wins this year. Just maybe tell everyone a bit about just kind of who you are in the series that you run in, Nate.
Yeah, so like what the other guy said, my name's Nate Rinaldi. I drive the 3 dirt late model 604 crate motor. So yeah, basically the NLMA was just an idea we came up with. Well, my dad mainly, who owns Bright Speedway, came up with to try and spread late model racing in Ontario and northeastern New York, mainly. Just where it's heavy modified country out here. My dad's always loved late model racing. We've raced late models at Brighton since the inception of basically the modern late model back in like 2010, 2012 area when they first started becoming what we know now as a late model. We adopted that as our top class here at Brighton. And yeah, so it was sort of just an idea to try and spread the racing. So it started out with 5 tracks, Brighton, Humberstone, Merrittville, Oswego, Brockville, and Cornwall. As of this year, we've actually introduced 2 new tracks on the American side of the border, both Ransomville, which was the race that we had 2 weeks ago, or last week, actually, I guess, on June 14th. And we have one more. We have another race in Can-Am August 6th is the next time we go south.
Awesome. And yeah, so obviously Bert couldn't make it this week. So we wanted to bring in somebody who maybe knows a little bit more about late models than Jacob and I, someone who's done it firsthand. So we appreciate Nate coming on. And just 1 second, we've got Devin here. I guess we're going to start off with Lernerville from this past weekend. Everyone was kind of complaining about how you couldn't pass, but you didn't seem to have any issues with that. Just tell us a little bit about your weekend and how you stormed through the front.
Yeah, really, I thought the track was awesome all weekend. You know, Lernerville always provides a great racetrack for us, and I don't know if anyone really said you couldn't pass, or just sometimes it gets hard to pass because when you're racing the best guys in the country, it's not easy, you know. But they had a really good track, and kind of I was running a little bit of a unique line. I've never really ran there in 1 and 2, and I could get a really good launch down the backstretch, and yeah, it kind of propelled me by some guys. So it was a lot of fun for sure.
Yeah, you talked about that unique line that you were running. Seems like you were really diming it off of turns 1 and 2 and getting a good run. Do you think, obviously, Ricky Thornton Jr. was dominant. He won by over 12 seconds. But do you think if you would have had a late caution there towards the end, you could have maybe catched him?
I mean, who knows? You know, I'd like to think I could have, but he was 12 seconds ahead for a reason. You know, I was back in the pack and had to work my way up through there. I think because he did drop a valve or have motor problems, I would have had a chance. But if not, I don't really know. I would like to say yes, but we'll never know and never have to worry about it. So we'll just have to try to get faster and have ourselves up front, so we have to worry about him catching me, I guess.
And going back to Eldora just a couple of weeks ago, I was there for my very first dirt late model dream. I had a blast. And obviously the highlight, I think, for a lot of people was your big win on prelim night, especially being there at Eldora. I was in the media center after when you're doing your interviews with the guys. It was a blast to see how excited you were. Just talk about how much that night meant to you. And we interview drivers from a lot of different backgrounds and series, so maybe everyone might not be super familiar with the Moran curse, but maybe talk about how you threw that aside as well.
Yeah, definitely pumped that is no longer a thing. Obviously, Flo did a whole deal about it right before the million and this and that, and I guess we just had to have the million for me to break it. Now that's over and all that. So yeah, it was a really special night. I felt like we had a really great car all weekend. Unfortunately, we missed it a little bit on Saturday, but we were really good Friday night. We did everything we needed to, and everything worked out in my favor. And yeah, finally got to stand on the stage. So it was a special feeling. You know, my whole family was there other than Wiley. And yeah, the car was awesome, as it has been all year. And the curse is broken, so now we don't have to worry about it or talk about it. And hopefully we can go to Eldor and get us a globe for the world.
Yeah. Now, I'd just like to jump maybe even a little farther back. We noticed a lot of sort of a shakeup about your body this year back at Volusia in February. What's your opinion on how this whole body skew and how all this is changing in the last couple years, especially this year? Because from my perspective on the crate side, we really haven't seen these drastic changes like we're seeing at the World of Outlaws and Oil.
Yeah, so to be honest, this was a really big thing about 3 or 4 years ago, and they kind of cracked down on some of the rules where they made the ABC rule and some different things like that. And this winter, my guys just worked really hard, and myself at finding a way to not beat the rule or cheat the rule, because we're still within the rules 100%, but manipulate our body to where we could be within the boundaries, but look different and be different than everyone else, you know? And that's what I think everybody loves about dirt racing is there's different guys that can do different things, and you can change your stuff around. So it was really cool, in my opinion, that we figured out a way, and it's such a talking point that a lot of people have brought up. Unfortunately, I would say next year or even later this year, they're going to have a new rules package because enough people complained about it, I guess. I don't really know why, but it was cool to kind of point it out like that and be pointed out like that. And obviously, it's been pretty good for us. You know, I feel like I can move through traffic just like we did at Lernerville the other night. It's helped the air on my race car that I can do that stuff. So it's cool to be able to manipulate stuff and change and it's always fun to be different. Everyone wants to be a little different, so it's kind of cool in that aspect as well.
And jumping off of that topic, obviously with the past two big events with the Dream and then the Firecracker 100, obviously you found success early with the prelim night, getting the win, and then come the main event, Davenport blows everyone out of the water. And then same thing with the Firecracker, you get a prelim night event, and then RTJ goes out and blows everyone out of the water. So what do you think is going to set yourself aside where you can adjust, go against those guys? Because those two guys I just mentioned are the ones that you're going to be battling night in and night out. And also there was a recent Flow Racing article that came out that shared some of Mike Marlar's comments about, you know, how people have so many resources and guys helping them out. So share with our viewers your thoughts about that.
Really, we just got to be more prepared, I feel like. We had a couple things at both Lernerville and Eldor that hindered us just a little bit, not a lot, but just enough that kept us from in contention, you know. So I have to be more prepared and better as a driver and as a team in general. And when we keep going in the right direction like we are, I think we'll eventually put ourselves in those contentions. So we just keep working hard and keep doing what we're doing on the track we're on. And it's going to come. It's going to happen. I know it is. But we just got to keep working at it so it can happen consistently and we can kind of get on a run like Ricky and JD have been.
And just as more and more viewers are popping in, I just wanted to remind everyone, like we do with every podcast, if you go up, there's a QR code in the top corner here where you can get some Devin Moran merch at any point. Like I've got here, I got this shirt at Port Royal. I love it. It's awesome. At any point, jump in and do that. Devin, I want to kind of go back to kind of your beginning in late model racing. Obviously, your dad's a legend in the sport. What was that like as you first kind of started getting into racing, kind of going through and being in his footsteps and his shadows and the pressure that comes with that?
I don't know. I mean, obviously it was really brought up back in the day when I first started racing a lot, especially when he was. It's kind of funny. That's his $1 million check right there as we're talking about
Cool.
this. But I don't know. Like, I don't really let it bother me. I don't really think it's near as much of a topic as what it used to be because I feel like I'm finally getting into my own here. But at the same time, you look at the walls in the shop and you see this check up here and you see the World 100 trophies over there and the North-South right there. Like, I got a lot of catching up to do. So I want to be as good as him someday. I don't know if that'll ever happen, but I just keep working hard, and I put pressure on myself regardless, whether it was because of my dad or anyone else. So I want to win races as bad, if not worse, than anyone out here. So just one of the things that you do when you're a competitive person, and yeah, it's just the way it goes.
And I haven't been able to get to see you race in person since going back to February during the Winter Nationals at East Bay. Kind of talk about how East Bay means special to you, knowing that the track is going to be closing here soon. It sucks because being down in Florida, we don't have many dirt tracks really left other than Alltech and Bubba and all that. So I was able to see you take a picture with the family, the Moran clan, in front of the East Bay sign. So kind of tell our viewers about that.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna suck, especially after October. We'll go there for 3 days the week before the dirt track, so we'll all be saying our farewells and goodbyes. But it's just one of them things. Same with I-80 and all these other great racetracks. It's at some point, sometimes some of them just come to an end. So it'll be sad. It'll be devastating, really, especially for myself. Tyler Erb as well. He loves it just as much as I do. So it does suck, but we'll go down there. We'll enjoy the whole week. Might try to go down and hang out early. Hopefully everyone else comes down and supports East Bay's last race, and we can go out with a bang. And hopefully we can win there the final night and take 50 grand and have ourselves in a really good tight championship battle there at the end.
This is a little bit maybe off topic, but I wanted to ask you because I didn't grow up around kind of late model racing, so I'm just kind of getting into it. I love what High Limit and Lucas Oil have been doing, kind of those combined events where you guys can draw in fans from sprint cars and late models, maybe introduce each other to the different forms of racing. And they had you guys kind of being in the pits for the sprint car guys, and then the sprint car guys were in the pits for the late model guys, and that seemed like to really come natural to you, like you were really good at that. Is that something you think like dirt racing should really kind of do more of, and you see more of those events in the future?
I love it. I've been a sprint car fan my whole life. I love going to sprint car races. I came over to Ohio Sprint Speed Weeks at Muskingum. I've raced one a couple times. If it was up to me, I wish we could race with sprint cars every night. I wish the World of Outlaws would combine with each other more often, and I wish we could combine with the High Limits more often, you know. But on the track side of it, it's just so expensive and it's such a big purse. I understand why it doesn't happen more than it does. It's just when you get two big series like that in there together, it's a lot of money. It's anywhere from $100,000 to $150,000, $200,000 that they're putting out. So it makes it really hard for the tracks. But I wish there was a way we could figure it out more often because I love it. And yeah, I didn't mind announcing. I had fun announcing, but I'd rather be racing while they're racing and hanging out and watching and all that. So it's really cool. That's why the World Finals is such a big deal, I feel like, because the late models and sprint cars, obviously big blocks are there as well. And you get to see a lot of great racing with a lot of great racers.
And Nate, I know you're a current crate late model guy, so I'll pass it off to you if there's anything kind of specific that you kind of wanted to ask him.
Yeah, no, I just once again, we run mostly local races and just with the NLMA. But from your perspective, especially because even on the crate side of it, the cost of dirt racing has gotten so astronomical compared to what it was even 10 years ago. Do you see a big issue sort of coming in the future with especially local car counts, and maybe not so much the series guys because there's a lot more big money in the series races, but like local car counts we're seeing all over the place, Ontario and a lot to the States too. We're losing cars. Do you see sort of future where it changes, or what do you think?
In cost of racing, I don't know how to fix it. I don't know what you can do to fix it. I don't know how to fix it. And on our team, our three biggest costs are employees, the tire bill, and the engine bill. If we could cut all them in half, it would make a tremendous tremendous deal for us. So I don't know. I don't have answers because I don't know what we can do to help that. We keep saying raise the purses, raise the purses.
One thing I was thinking about, because I've seen it suggested on the sprint car side, is with all these 250,000 to win or 275,000 to win, is just maybe knocking a little bit of that off the top and giving it to some of the, knocking it down to bumping up the starting purses. Do you think that would have any kind of an effect?
So as a racer and a car owner, I'm 1,000,000% in on that. I want that more than anything. I think that 100% helps the race teams. But on the other side of that, as on the promoter side, it kills the racetrack. Reason why I say that, we were at Volunteer last year with the XR Super Series. It was 100,000 to win, and it's the biggest crowd I ever saw there, like ever, period. There was people standing, there was people in the crevices, there was people everywhere. There was literally probably 7,500 people there. So we go back this year, same exact thing. It was the XR Super Series, and it was the exact same purse. It was like just right around 200, 250 grand, but they made it 30,000 to win instead of 100, and they spread it out. It was a great payout over 2 days, and we had less than half the cars and probably 75% less of a field. So unfortunately, that high money is what definitely brings people and fans and drivers to the racetrack.
I'll maybe give the last one to Nate, because he had a good one to wrap up, and then we do have a final segment that we'd like to do with you that we do with all our guests. So I'll pass it off to Nate.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, just sort of one last question to wrap it up here. Just as a younger driver, and I know there's a lot of people younger than me are doing it now. What is some solid advice that you think you could give to a younger driver looking to get into the dirt late models, crate or supers, whatever?
My biggest piece of advice would probably be you get out of it what you put in it. I feel like the harder you work, the harder at some point you'll get something out of it. You might be close to giving up or this and that, but you just got to keep working and keep digging. And if you're working all day and all night, you just got to keep doing it and keep working to get better. People obviously are recognizing me a little more now than they have in the past, but 15 years ago, they didn't see me working until 3 or 4 in the morning every single night when it was just me and my brothers and not a full-time crew. So it just takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. So the more effort you put in it, the more you'll get out of it, whether it's 5, 10, 15 years down the road. So just keep working and don't give up on it.
All right. Perfect. We really appreciate having you on. Before we let you go, we do this segment called Victory Fuel Rapid Fire. We have 10 questions that we just fire at you. Just come up with the first thing that comes to your mind. Some of them are racing related, some of them aren't. But it's just a fun way to get to know our guests a little better. So use code DIRTLATENATION at checkout, and that gets you 10% off your order at Victory Fuel. So are you ready, Devin?
I'm ready.
All right. So other than your dad, who are some of your racing idols growing up?
Scott Bloomquist and Donnie Schatz.
Nice. What is the most memorable race that you've run so far?
That I've won?
Or that you've run, that you've been in?
Obviously the million I raced this year, and I would say when I won the PDC in 2018, they were the best two so far.
If someone's coming to visit you in Dresden, Ohio, where's the first place you're taking them?
Either my race shop or the racetrack, one or the other, show them around.
What's the best place to eat on the road?
I like either Texas Roadhouse if we're going for a meal, or I like Waffle House after the races.
What's the best and worst thing about life on the road?
The best thing is I get a race every night and hang out with my crew guys. They're like some of my best friends and my wife, so that's got to be the best. I don't know about the worst. I love being out on the road, so I don't really have anything bad to say about it.
Awesome. Best Eldora cocktail, Royal Flush or toilet water?
I've never even had the Royal Flush. I didn't know. I've only had like a drink of toilet water. I don't usually drink a whole lot when I'm at Eldora because I'm racing, but a nice cold beer, you can't beat that.
Yeah, for sure. Other than yourself, which dirt driver has the best nickname? Because dirt drivers are known for having cool nicknames.
I don't know. I mean, obviously the smooth operator's a pretty good one. I don't know. What's other people's nicknames?
Well, I know my favorite. Like I'm a bit older. My favorite growing up was always Craig Delansky because he was the crowd pleaser. That was always my favorite one.
Yeah. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I can't guess on that one.
What's the best racing movie of all time?
Oh, it's got to be Days of Thunder, without a doubt.
Yeah. You have one day. You can race any kind of car on any track. Where are you going and what are you racing?
Probably racing late models at Eldora. There's nothing better. Sprint cars at Knoxville would be pretty cool, but late models at Eldora's got a trumpet.
All right, last one. We saw that you went to an NHRA event back in February down in Florida. How soon can we expect you to get a top fuel dragster like Tony Stewart?
Probably never. I had a blast doing it, and my partner loves drag racing, but it's just I love my dirt late models, and I'll probably never leave that.
Perfect.
Well, those were definitely some awesome responses from Devin. And obviously, you mentioned your car owner. So before we let you go, obviously, we were talking about how expensive dirt late model racing is, and you have the opportunity to compete with the Lucas dirt late models every weekend. So share with our viewers all the people that help you get down the road. And Mr. Sellers does a lot for your team with Double Down Motorsports, so and all your sponsors.
Yeah, Roger Sellers is a great car owner with Double Down Motorsports. Me and him have clicked right away, and this is our second year already, and I feel like it's my best season and his best season both. So can't thank him and his family enough with Lazy Days RV, Big River Steel, C&W Trucking, CarSourceAuto.com, Red Oak Pub, McHugh's, Pee Wee's Record Service. Got the hat on, just got a couple of them. But a lot of contingency sponsors don't get the recognition they should. You've got winter rear ends and transmissions. They have such flawless equipment with Bilstein shocks, iBox springs, Clements and Cornet engines both. There's just a ton of people with strange axles. I've got sweet. There's so many people I can't thank enough, and my cute crew and my beautiful wife that's always slinging my merchandise at shopdevinmoran.com. So go check that out, and just ready to go racing. And thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah, really appreciate it, Devin. Thanks for your time, and we'll see you. I'll see you at Port Royal in August, if not sooner, but I'll definitely see you there.
Awesome. Yeah, sorry my phone messed up, but it
You're
still
good.
worked out all right. So I appreciate it.
It's all good.
Devin, we just gotta be able to get some of your merch in Canada now. We can't get any of it up here.
Yeah, we're trying to figure that out. So I used to ship all over the place, but ever since COVID, it got all jacked up, and it's like over $100 to ship anything anywhere. So I told Lakia 2 or 3 weeks ago we got to get that figured out. So hopefully here within the next month or two we can figure out how to do international and make it affordable for everyone. I'll work on that just for you.
Perfect.
All right, thanks, Devin.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
All right, so there you have it. I'd like to thank everyone who's tuned in. I wanted to ask Nate, you've got a race coming up this weekend. Tell us where we can see you come the rest of the way.
Yeah, this Sunday, June 30th. Yeah, that's the date, June 30th. We're racing the NLMA series. It's racing at Humberstone Speedway. It's actually one of the final 5 races ever at Humberstone Speedway, as this is their last season. So any and all support we can get to make the last couple shows great. We actually went back to Humberstone for their second last show ever on their doubleheader weekend in October. So yeah, there's only 5 races left there, and we all hate to see a track go, so let's try and make the best of the last few races that we can get.
Yeah, definitely. It's sad. We were talking about East Bay earlier. There's kind of tracks closing all over the place. Albany Saratoga announced, I think, last week that they're closing. So get out, support your local racetrack, because if you pack the stands and they're making money, that they're less likely to sell. So Simple as that. So get out and support your local tracks, not just when the big, touring series come, but Friday, Saturday nights, whenever your track's racing, get out and support them. So
exactly, and we really appreciate everyone for tuning in on our live, and everyone who's going to tune in on our After the Scales YouTube channel. Make sure to give us a like, subscribe to our channel, and give everyone a follow at Canadian Racing Tours. Go follow our guy Nate at his social media, and make sure you guys buy some Devin Moran merch. Support those guys that are going out there and putting on a show for us. So, we appreciate everyone for tuning in, and I hope we see you guys on episode 17.